Women of Reddit, what are your honest opinions on giving BJs? How much do you actually enjoy giving them? It's like cooking. Sometimes I really enjoy putting in the effort and will go the extra mile. Maybe spice things up with a lime or two. But other days it's like fuck bro, just do it yourself. There's pizza in the freezer. Lime on the dick is gonna be a no from me, dog. I used to be enthusiastic about giving them, but I'd what happened. Now I can't go for very long without my neck cramping and my jaw locking up. It's so painful. Ever look into TMJ? There are some pressure points around your ear, jaw that really help me. Not for giving head, just for, life. Can you please elaborate? I have TMJ and I would love for it to hurt less. Have TMJ. Cold or hot compresses, seems to vary. Put your fingers on your jaw, open and close your mouth and feel around. You're looking for the spot where your lower jaw hinges into your skull. Massaging the joint and the thicker muscle about an inch below it and half an inch forward feels amazing when it's acting up. Avoid wearing full ear headphones for more than an hour or two. Avoid chewy foods like gum or taffy. Get a mouth guard. If you grind your teeth at night at all, it helps. Edit. Something I remembered. Don't rest your chin on your hand. It pushes your jaw back into the joint and makes it worse. Again, for me. In regards to the night guard, it depends on your situation. I was able to pick up a $25 one at Target and it works fine, but you may need a special one from a dentist. Didn't expect to come into a dick-sucking thread to be given useful advice on my current TMJ. But thank you, kind stranger. I will add this: do not get a mouth guard. Getting any random mouth guard will make the problem worse. One night it locked my jaw to the left side. You need to see your GP and dentist. Make sure they give you a custom splint that is designed to be worn 24/7. Haha, TMJ is the first thing that came to my head when I read BJ. I can't stand giving head because it is so painful. It's hard to show without actually being there, but that's a picture that might give you an idea. The first one is that you put your index finger below your earlobe, right in the nook behind your jaw, and then you press forward. It hurts like crazy, but if you just hold it for 20 seconds or so, then you move on to the other 3 spots. One is sort of where your earlobe meets your face. Press your fingers in towards your brain. Hold for 20 seconds. Then where that little protrusion that holds your earphones in meets your face, press in towards our brain for 20 seconds. Then the last one is where you can feel where your jaw opens and closes. Press in for 20 seconds. But I've been doing a lot of work on my posture, and seeing a physic therapist as well for said terrible atrocious posture. It's really helped me clench my jaw less and I spend less time with a rigid and stressed out neck. I wish I could give you clearer tips. I feel like I just gave you a treasure map. I didn't like it at all at first. It was just gross in my opinion. The smell, the taste, how much work it is. Then I got a new boyfriend. That's the point where I realized why I didn't like it. Wash your dick, guys. Now, I just love it. His facial expressions when I hit the right spot, the little moans that he tries to keep in, and his trembling legs. Nothing hotter than that. Not only wash, but air it out. Don't just quickly dry off and shove your slightly damp junk in underwear and think you'll stay smell-free. I do some naked squats after my morning shower to get some airflow on the vast wasteland between my balls and my anus. I'm generally not a fan. It makes my eyes water and my nose run. Sometimes it tastes kind of bad. I generally start gagging and feel like I'm going to throw up after a bit. I'm most down to do it when I'm drunk. But that's also when the fear of throwing up is the worst. That said, I'll reciprocate, and I'll even initiate blowjobs sometimes, especially when drunk. But the only thing I like about giving them is the reaction from the guy. Feeling like you're going to throw up. The last 2 times I gave head, same guy, I threw up in my mouth and swallowed it. I didn't know what else to do. I found out I was allergic to a certain type of laundry detergent when I went down on a FWB, and partway through eating her out, my eyes and nose started running and my throat got scratchy. Turns out before I came over, she'd done laundry and thrown on a freshly washed pair of panties. The whole experience made me hesitant about doing that again, so totally sympathize with you. Gotta be careful about giving that cunnilinens. I have straight up stopped in the middle of foreplay to recommend playing in the shower. People get funky, there's no shame in it. Just don't be a dick about it and go hose off. That makes sense, but I would honestly be worried about making someone feel self-conscious by doing that if you don't know them well, have just started having sex with them. My ex used to always want to shower before sex, and it made me self-conscious about whether I was really disgusting normally. In retrospect, I think he did it as much or more because he wanted to be sure he was clean himself, but it still took a while for me to really internalize that. I'm upfront to a fault. Sex feels great, but humans have bodily functions. That shit's natural. People shouldn't get all uptight about cleaning themselves before the nasty, if you want to do the fun stuff. That is greater than. One of my great tragedies in life was growing up and coming to realize that women aren't even remotely as in love with male genitalia as I am with theirs. Took a decade of awkwardness with my wife before she was able to admit how awful she felt about it, and how guilty that feeling made her, since I absolutely love going down on her, and how generally fascinated and enamored I am with vaginas in general, but for her it just felt weird, hurt her jaw and made her feel pretty grossed out in anticipation of possible ejaculations. Once she admitted that it felt like an unpleasant and gross task, I never let her get near there again, and had to reprogram my mind to abandon fantasies about it. Edit, to all you folks losing your shit and thinking this something terrible and sad, it's not. Stop messaging me or giving me red pill bullshit or even well-meaning advice. I've been through so much terrible shit in my life that I'm truly blessed to be with the woman I love, who is my best friend in the world, and we get to spend every day together talking, playing games and making plans. There are greater things in the world than blowjobs. I enjoy it, but it depends on the guy, and my mood, and typically more as foreplay. Smaller to average men are more enjoyable to have in my mouth. Also it may be because he was uncircumcised, but my last boyfriend was much easier to get off with oral. My current boyfriend and other guys I've given blowjobs to, needed a lot of suction, at a steady rhythm, for quite some time, which is really difficult and becomes painful after a while. Given that and the fact that it makes me mad horny, I enjoy starting with oral, but then I want to get fucked. I like giving them now because my soul likes it. It also helps that I've given enough of them to be confident that I'm not doing a terrible job. I was never too keen on giving them in new relationships or during hookups because I was self-conscious about my skills and I find them extremely intimate. I would be more comfortable having sex with a guy before I would give him a BJ. I'm totally with you on the self-conscious thing. I have often told guys that I'm not good at blowjobs while hooking up with them for the first time. Thankfully, I do think that I've gotten somewhat better, so feel a bit less need to apologize. I agree with you. It was a worry about skill but also a feeling of physical vulnerability. Like, that's my face. It requires way more trust than piff sex for me. I'm bi and don't feel the same way about going down on a woman. I mean, it's still intimate, but it doesn't feel like scary to do with someone I don't necessarily trust as much. Probably because it's so external, not possible to choke me, etc. And not just safety but also vulnerability in terms of looking ugly / bad / stupid. I think this is because suck my dick is an insult and people act like giving head is degrading, like a man is dominating a woman in a humiliating way when he gets a BJ from her. That stuck with me a long time, and I wanted to be the kind of woman who loved giving, but it took a trusting, loving, extremely patient relationship to actually get through that hang up, instead of having intense anxiety about feeling ugly and degraded by giving a BJ. Probably didn't help that my first boyfriend tried to pressure me into it, literally by whining and calling me a killjoy. Edit, to be clear, I do not find BJs degrading in my relationship because my husband respects me as an equal, treats me well, is patient and loving and kind, and worked through it with me without pressuring me in the slightest. and we love pleasuring each other. Consensual degradation through BDSM is a different story, but speaking in terms of just regular vanilla sex, especially for people just coming of age, I think it's really harmful that BJs are treated like they're degrading and a power move by default, because it's really gross when you don't want to be degraded and don't consent to be degraded, but people treat you that way anyway just because you are female. Edit. As usual, I kind of regret making a comment that gets a lot of upvotes because I'm getting a lot of really disgusting replies to this. If you feel the need to tell me why it's a good thing BJs are degrading or insult me or other women who have hang-ups due to anxiety, shame, and/or trauma, then you're literally the problem. I like it, especially the first part where it's all soft and squishy and you can fit the whole thing in your mouth and it's like pleasantly soft bubble gum. Then when you can feel it getting bigger and firmer and finally pop right out the mouth. Not a big fan of the end bit where you really have to buckle down and get results. Unless he's moaning, and oh god, if he's moaning and encouraging you and you are together on this project, holy fuck, that's magical. I generally like it. I think it depends on the guy's reaction and our communication though. If a dude starts ramming my head down on his dick, no, I'm not having fun. For partners that communicate and tell me what they like and want and let me go for it, yeah, I'll do it all the time. I've been told, as a receiver, that they like it more when I make noise. That way they know how much I'm liking it. That in itself is a turn on to hear BTW. So apparently the rustling from my bag of potato chips wasn't the right noise. Can you be more specific with your tips next time?